Duck Hunt. And I'm just gonna keep it on this stream, because it's a little bit easier to do than I thought originally. So all I have to do is just pick the stage. But yeah, I didn't realize that Duck Hunt only had one song. I always wondered why they just put his songs with the random ones. I think the Ice Climbers have 2 songs. They have one that's from Brawl, and I think they have one from Melee as well. Which Cloud also has 2 songs, but he gets his own category because he's independent, I guess. But yeah, now we're on to Duck Hunt. So, Duck Hunt is going to be a pretty slow character on the ground. He is a zoner character though, so he's not really expected to be that fast, although there are a few fast zoners. Duck Hunt's not one of them though. He does have a crawl though, which is kind of good for just like moving around and trying to like crouch cancel hits, because if you just stop crawling then you are in a crouching position. So that means you'll just take less knockback from the move. So like if you get hit by a Falcon Punch standing up, then it's going to do more knockback than if you get hit by a Falcon Punch on the ground. So I can kind of just show that here. So, let me see, it's a neutral special. And then if I reset this, yeah, as you can see, I take a lot less knockback than if I just run up to him and then get hit. Because it knocks me all the way off stage if I don't crouch. So it's just really good for moving around kind of safely. If you're at a higher percent, I wouldn't really recommend it that much, but it can kind of save you in certain scenarios. And then Duck Hunt can still operate the can and stuff like that out of his down, or out of crouching, because all he has to do is just like stand up and then he can go back to can. And you can also just summon these wild gunmen pretty easily from crouching. Jump height's not that great, but your up special does go pretty far. You can perform any special out of your up special though, or just like any move, because it is kind of like Snakes, where you will eventually fall. Although with Duck Hunt that enters you in free fall, and with Snake it doesn't do that. But yeah, if you actually do a move, then it doesn't enter you. Or, I think it does enter you in free fall, actually. Let me just try. Yeah, it does. Okay, so it just lets you do one move. I thought it didn't there for a second, but it's just gonna allow you to be able to kind of protect yourself, because up special on its own doesn't offer that much protection, but as soon as you protect yourself, you're gonna start falling, so it's really only good if you use up special on stage, but it's definitely not a move that I would recommend to use on stage, because it just leaves you open for attacks and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess now we can get into moveset. So for dash attack, it's kind of fast. It doesn't really do that much damage or knockback though. It's not that great for comboing because of this. Like, it can be DI. If you DI away from it, then you definitely hit combo. But if you just DI it, and you could probably combo off of it like this. And this isn't even a combo or anything like that. It's just me dash tagging and then me running up and fairing and hoping that it connects. As it's not even really a string, because the string's kind of closer connected than that is. But I guess it could still be classified as one. But yeah, dash attack in general is just not that safe of a move to throw out. It's not that great for approaching. Like, you can throw out can, and that might allow you to get a dash attack, but it's just not even worthwhile to do, because you can just also throw out the can and be a lot safer. But yeah, can does 2 hits, because one of the hits is them running into the can, and the second hit is exploding. In case you didn't know, I've always wondered why can does 2 hits, but that's why. And the original hit doesn't even do that much damage, it only does about 3%. But yeah, just dash attack in general, not that great of a move. Jab's a little bit better. You do have a rapid jab, which kind of sets up for a combo into like an up air, although it doesn't really true combo or anything like that. Your gentleman jabs, it's just good for setting up edge guards, I would say, or like creating tag chases, but it really doesn't set up for combos. I guess the rapid jab doesn't either, because they both launch at the same angle. And you have a bit too much end lag to be able to follow it up, but you can follow it up with like a can. You can set someone into a position where they could be hit by the can. You can also just hit the can with your jab, and it won't launch that far. You can also use that to reset the position of the can, so that way if it's going that way, you can just switch it around. With your tilts, you got, let's just do up tilt first actually. So up tilt, it does set up for juggles a bit, but the thing is Duck Hunt juggles are okay. It's just up air doesn't always connect each hit. Up air is actually really strong though for some reason. Like, it's almost killing Falcon here. It would kill at 100% if it wasn't stale, I believe. on Falcon. It might be a little bit higher than like 110, but it just has a pretty insane amount of knockback. But yeah, up tilt in general, it's kind of weird to hit. It doesn't really work on shorter opponents that well, even if you do turn it around. It works a bit better on taller opponents if you turn it around, but it still has a hitbox that's above duck hunt, so a lot of people can just avoid it. Down tilt's really good for launching can though. Like, because that's how far it just launches the can. It's a lot better than just, you know, using the can's own gravity and just launching it really high in the air, because if you down tilt it, it will just be much faster and be able to hit opponents much easier. Like, up tilting the can is pretty good as well, because you launch it upwards and it actually launches in the opposite angle of duck hunt. So if I want to kind of like trick Falcon here, I can up tilt it and it will actually go facing away from duck hunt. But you can still do the same thing with down tilt if you go on the other side of the can. But it's just a little bit better for approaching with can if you down tilt and then go in for an attack. Although can did launch on the opposite side of Falcon there, which is kind of strange. I sent Falcon towards me. I really didn't understand that. But forward tilt does pretty much the same thing as down tilt. I think down tilt goes a bit further, although I'm not really sure. So down tilt goes about to there, whereas with forward tilt... Oh, yeah, forward tilt goes a little bit farther, but it doesn't really make that much of a difference which one you choose. Down tilt has a bit more range, I believe. Or no, it's a bit faster, actually. It doesn't have more range than forward tilt. So, I have forward tilt here. Yeah, so if I move up any, forward tilt actually hits before down tilt. So forward tilt does have a bit more range than down tilt, but it's not really that much, actually. And forward tilt can also be angled upward and stuff like that. So it does have multiple angles, or at least, yeah, there it goes. So I just have to use the controller stick, 'cause I'm not that great at angling tilts with C-stick. And I do have my tilts on the C-stick, but I'm just not that great at doing it like that. But, yeah, forward tilt angled upward will launch a bit more upward for the can. So that's up tilt there. I'm trying to do forward tilt, but I keep moving forward. Okay, there we go. So you can see it launches a bit more upward than if you angle it downward. So that was, I believe, angle down forward tilt. Let me just, yeah, there's angle down forward tilt. So it does launch kind of far, but it's not the same as just like regular forward tilt or down tilt. But yeah, up tilt, as I said earlier, kind of creates struggles. It can be used to mix up the can pretty well. Forward tilt's used to hit the can pretty far, and it can be used to space with duck hunt because it is kind of fast, but down tilt's a bit faster. And it can also be used to poke shields. But yeah, the move for down tilt just comes out a lot faster than it does for forward tilt. And you can kind of just tell the difference, because I'm getting a lot more hits in with down tilt spamming than I am with forward tilt. But yeah, for your smash attacks, forward smash is really good if you space it out, although it doesn't have that much knockback spaced out. It does get the final hit, which I guess does do all the knockback, but if you're at a higher percent, or if you're at like 80%, I would say it's probably better to land all the hits of the forward smash. You'll be able to get a lot of damage out, so that way when you do hit the final hit, it sends a little bit further. Down smash, it's kind of used for spacing as well. If you hit the second hit, it will still combo into the third hit, and then it shoots twice in front of duck hunt, which is kind of good, because that means if somebody like jumps above the initial down smash, and whenever they land, it will probably be on the second in front of duck hunt hit of down smash. So it can be used just to catch people jumping and stuff like that. But up smash is much better for catching people jumping, because it just covers much more above duck hunt, so you can also hit people that are landing on duck hunt. But as you can see with all the smash attacks, like forward smash will probably connect all hits. Yeah, it connects all hits, and it also launches a can pretty high upward, which is decent, but it's pretty much the same thing as if you just used like that, although if you just hit B, it does launch a bit higher with the can than if you use forward smash. The forward smash does get it to the same height a little bit faster, I believe. With down smash, you can see it doesn't really launch that far. Same thing with the up smash, it's just because you're getting that one hit. Which I guess is kind of good if you throw out can and then you're not sure if someone's going to be able to be hit by the can, or if they're going to approach you. You can just throw out like an up smash to catch your landing, and then you might run into the can's explosion, but it's still going to hit them with the up smash and the can explosion, so they'll take more damage out of it. And then up smash is really good out of shield, because it does hit on both sides of you pretty quickly. although it is kind of laggy. So if you do throw it out and you miss, then you can be punished, or if it gets shielded as well. With your aerials, you've got down air, which is a spike. Down air is a pretty weird spike, though. You kind of have to make sure that you hit the last hit for it to spike. And it doesn't always hit the last hit consistently, which is something that I personally don't like about it, but there, I did land the spike, because I did do a rising down air, which is a little bit easier to do a rising down air than a landing one, especially at lower percents, because all you have to do is just jump and then down air, like that. So you can hit the second hit a little bit easier. It's kind of the same thing with the up air, where it just doesn't hit all hits consistently, but when it does hit all hits, it does a pretty decent amount of damage and knockback, especially if you get the last hit. With back air, it's probably your best aerial for spacing if you're just kind of jump space like this, although Duck Hunt really shouldn't be jump spacing like this. And fair is pretty much the same thing, it's just fair doesn't do as much damage or knockback, whereas back air does. And I believe they both tipper. Although I'm not sure on fair, let me test. Yeah, fair doesn't have a dipper, so back air actually will do a bit more damage if you land on the beak of the Duck Hunt, so if you hit the tip, pretty much. Whereas with forward air, it does a little bit more damage consistently, and it also covers a bit less range than back air does. But yeah, either options are kind of good for jump spacing, but there's really no reason to do that as Duck Hunt, because most of the time you'll just be spacing with your projectiles anyway. But you can still use it to jump space, I guess. And then you could also use back air to edge guard a bit better than forward air, which forward air is a decent edge guard, but back air is much better. Up air is used for juggling and killing, and then down air can also be used as edge guard for spikes. Neutral air is not really that useful, I would say. It doesn't really hit opponents on the ground that well, unless they're pretty tall. Like this, our Captain Falcon's kind of tall, so it's able to hit him pretty easily. But like you kind of just have to make sure to run into people if you don't get the startup hit, because if you don't get any of the hits, it does leave you open for attack pretty easily. Like even if you land on the ground, it just has a pretty decent amount of in lag, and it's not that great out of shield, even if you do short hop it, because it just doesn't cover that much hits. If you actually full hop it, it's much worse. So that's definitely something that could happen, because you kind of have to make sure that you land with it, rather than do a rising full hop neutral air, because it won't be able to land all the hits consistently. But yeah, they all can affect the can, so forward air doesn't really send it that far, whereas with back air, I believe back air will send it the furthest, if you have the tipper. Then, like, it will probably send about the same as down tilt, I would say, actually, but it's just easier to hit out of the air with, so, like, if you're like shooting up the can like this, and then you just throw out a forward air or a back air, it's able to hit the can a little bit easier than down tilt, because that's still on the ground. Same thing with forward tilt, even though you can't angle forward tilt upward. Up air, not that useful for the can. It kind of just does the same thing as up tilt, although you can't really land up air consistently, because you kind of have to land it out of the up tilt like that, and that just doesn't really do much. It kind of just juggles the can, and your opponent's not really going to run into you if they see you juggling the can. And then down air just kind of does that to the can, like it doesn't really do that much. I guess it can kind of be used to mix up that direction if you're landing with the can, but outside of that it doesn't really have that much use. But yeah, now we can get into specials. So for side special, you're going to have a little clay pigeon. It can still be used to combo into itself, but it's a very precise timing for the combo into itself. You have to do like something like this, I believe, and then you have to short hop. But you have to make sure that the that you get the throw of the clay pigeon in, and then you start hitting people with it. But it's really weird. Like I don't understand the combo that much, because of just how fast you have to actually land all of the hits to be able to do the combo. Then you've got down special, which is just going to send out a random wild gunman. There are 3. This one, I believe, does the least amount of damage, but has the most range. This one, it does a bit more damage, but it suffers from less range. And this gunman, it covers the least amount of distance, but it does the most damage, I believe, is kind of how it works, although it might stay in the move list, actually. No. Oh, wait, there's 5 gunmen, actually. So, okay, let's see. So there's this gunman. So yeah, they each have delayed timings, I guess. Like that one's going to be the fastest one. It'll be slower. And you can kind of see the ranges here as well if I do it like this. But yeah, I believe it's just a random gunman that it calls each time. I don't think it calls a gunman in a specific order, although I can test it here. So let's see. This one's gonna be 1. Yeah, it just calls them in a random order. So I wasn't really sure on that. So you can kind of use it to approach people and combo off of it. So if you have the gunman out, they will each have varying speeds, so depending on which one you get, it might be better for approaching, and then some might be better for just letting them do their own thing. But it just depends on which one you get, honestly. And then up special, I kind of already went over it. You don't really want to use this on stage, but it's mainly just used for your recovery. Down special, I mean not down special, but neutral special is just going to be the can. And you kind of have seen what the can does if you've played against Duck Hunt. You would hit the B button again to shoot the can, and that will move it forward. If you spam the B button, then it will go much higher. And the can will eventually explode if it's taking enough damage or if it's sat on the ground for long enough. You can hit the can with different moves to send it at different places with different angles and things like that, so kind of already have shown most of them. But yeah, you can do things like that with the can just to kind of mix up what you launch at, because the basic launch angle is pretty predictable if you just spam can. Can be used like in shield, so you can see Duck Hunt is holding the shield, so if I throw a can over here and Falcon's approaching me, then, or I guess I have to throw it out like here, and Falcon's approaching me, I can use the can to kind of protect myself. But you can also do that with like the gunmen and stuff like that, because they still will fire while you're shielding. But with side special you have a bit too much in lag. Well, you can still trigger the explosion part of slide special in your shield, but you can't really shield and then, because your shield just has way too much in lag. Or the clay pigeon, sorry, has way too much in lag on it, so that you can't just spam it. Although it still kind of works. And then just, yeah, I guess it kind of covers it. Can and the clay pigeon can be used for edge guarding. Can especially is pretty good for edge guarding because you can mix up the angles on it. It's pretty much like throwing a turnip off stage. Gunmen can also be used to edge guard, although that's kind of situational. Especially depending on what character you're playing against. Like with Captain Falcon, Gunman's not really going to edge guard him very well because he can recover pretty low, and he'll probably do that if he sees the Gunman. But with most people that have to recover high or mid, then Gunman's not a bad option. And Gunman's much better if you use it on stage than off stage. And then same thing with Clay Pigeon. It can be used to edge guard, but it's not that effective at doing it. Because it only goes at a certain angle. Like, you can't really mix it up like you can with the can. But yeah, I guess now we can get into throws. So, we got up throw. Really good for, like, starting juggles at lower percents. So if I grab Falcon and then just throw to up air, you can see I'm able to land most of the hits of up air, but I might not be able to land all of them because it still doesn't hit that consistently, which is kind of good for your opponent, but it's really bad for Duck Hunt because up air is one of your better kill options off the top, but your opponent will fall out of it a lot unless you kind of like start the up air as soon as they're like right next to you. Down throw can kind of combo into fair at lower percents, but it doesn't combo into like multiple fairs or anything. I mean, it's a kind of decent combo if somebody's just like right next to you, but the problem with it is that it's just not that useful, because it just doesn't knock people away, and Duck Hunt has to land on the ground and then run away from you. But yeah, thanks, Stanley Game for following, but your notification thing should show up on the screen in a second. But yeah, just down throw in general is not that useful of a combo tool, because it's just not that great for combos. Like, I guess you can kind of use can and then like grab someone with a throw and then down throw into the can to get a bit of damage like out of that. Same thing with like Gunman or Clay Pigeon where you just set up for it using a throw, but that's not that useful honestly, because there are a lot better ways to set up for can that don't risk you having to use your grab, because your grab's kind of laggy and it doesn't really cover that much range, although it can still grab people. Forward throw and back throw are going to be mainly used for tech chasing. Like, forward throw can be used to throw people into the can, but it can kill off the side at higher percents. Back throw is a better kill throw, though. It just kills people a lot earlier than forward throw will. but both can be used to like set up for cans and stuff like that. So yeah, now I can go ahead and go into neutral here. So I'm just gonna throw out a can. Duck Hunt has to play really passively. You can play aggressive Duck Hunt. It's just not that useful. I don't know how that air dodge made me go back, but yeah, Falcon kind of just ran into that can, so I'm obviously gonna do it. But yeah, I keep not doing can setups because I'm just not great at reminding myself to set up for cans, because it's a lot better if you just set it up, but I'm just gonna let that one blow up. But yeah, as you can see, I can use can to be able to approach and shield pressure. So if I do use can to approach and then Falcon always shields the can, then that just shows me that I can edge guard him. But yeah, I'm just gonna reset that because that wasn't going that well. For me at least, I just kept messing up on can. Like, I was winning, but I don't want to play a game where I just continuously mess up on can, because I'm not paying too much attention. But yeah, I thought I could hit him there, but I kind of used can a bit too late. But yeah, I'm trying to get a bit of space from Falcon, but Falcon's really good at approaching, because he is the second fastest character in the game, so he can kind of just run around and approach Duck Hunt easily. But yeah, his Falcon kick doesn't get exploded by the can, which is also something that's pretty bad for Duck Hunt. But yeah, I'm just going to charge forward smash there, because I knew Falcon wasn't going to do much to it. Yeah, I'm going to throw out a Wild Gunman here, although he did hit my can, which isn't that great. It's kind of just luck of the draw, and if your Gunman is hit like that, then that means that you can't summon another Gunman for a few seconds. So it's much better to throw the Gunman out and then have them not be hit by an explosion, or by like a slide special. But yeah, I thought Falcon was going to go back because he was running away, but then he just rushed back in and up smash. But yeah, I'm going to have to play pretty aggressively, which, I mean, I usually play Duck Hunt aggressively, which isn't what you should do. You should play him more camply, because he's got a lot of good defensive zoning tools, but he can be played aggressively. Like, if you use Clay Pigeon, that's probably better for playing aggressive, and Can's better for playing defensive. But yeah, as you can see, Captain Falcon kind of just destroys Duck Hunt because Duck Hunt can't run away from Falcon. But yeah, I can't really risk edgeguarding him with like a down air because I'm either going to miss it and then not be able to recover, or just something like that happens where I spam up B, because I think that it's like villagers and you have to spam up B. But as you can see, your back throw doesn't even kill at 178. Or that was at like 160. Forward throw is not going to kill either, but it's still just going to be decent. And that's kind of my main problem with Duck Hunt, is if you don't get can set up, or your opponent just knows all of Duck Hunt's tricks, which I feel like this Falcon definitely knows a lot of the ones that I'm trying to do. I'm just doing basic Duck Hunt stuff. Then he can just live to 190% and then die to forward air. But yeah, I'm on my last stock here, so this isn't going that well. Last game was going much better than this one, but I reset because I didn't want to play last game, because I kept messing up on can. But yeah, I'm dead here. So let me just do another game, where this time I don't misinput slide special instead of can. But yeah, I'm just going to play more aggressively. Because in that game I was playing aggressively, but I was using can, and that doesn't really work. Slide special is much better for playing aggressively. But yeah, this Falcon keeps shielding every time I throw out slide special, and he just keeps shielding every time I approach him, so I'm just going to start grabbing more. But yeah, I footstooled him there, so that is going to kill him, but I was spamming B, so messed up on my recovery. So we're both at 2 stocks still. So every time I throw out can, he just Falcon kicks, which is actually probably the best counter that Falcon has to can. Because you can't just jump over can, because then Duck Hunt can just hit B again and then can goes up. But if you just Falcon kick through it, you can just super armor. And he won't explode for doing it. So that definitely hurts Duck Hunt a lot, because that means that he can't play defensively. But yeah, I'm just going to throw off the can there because it's messing up the camera. Yeah, I'm going to catch his roll there. Try to get a can edge guard. I do get it, and then I'm going to go for down air here, but I landed on stage. If I wouldn't have landed on stage, I would have hit second hit and killed him. But yeah, I didn't want to approach him because I knew he was going to recover high like that. But yeah, this stock I'm going to play a bit more defensively because I have the lead. Although if I can kind of just get through it. So I might go back to playing aggressively if I get to like 150. Oh, that was untackable. I was ready for that. Because I figured he was either going to knee me or if he was going to back air, and as soon as I saw him go in front of me, I knew it was coming, but I couldn't tech it, so. I don't even know if holding down would have helped me tech that. Because I didn't DI it, because I figured I was either going to die or I could just tech it. Because it was going to launch me into the stage no matter what I did, pretty much. But yeah, that actually just took a stock pretty easily. So that's the game there. But, yeah, let me go ahead and get taunts out of the way, so I guess you can also just see this for, stuff like, about the duck jumps, the wild gunman, the clay pigeon, and, the trick shot. But yeah, that's going to be it for me, so I'm just going to go ahead and do taunts here. So yeah, up taunt, side taunt, and down taunt. Yeah, that's going to be it for now. Later I'm going to be doing a CPU tournament, and I'm also going to be doing, Solimar stuff, but I have to kind of leave now, because I've got to get ready for stuff that I have to do off-stream. But, when I get back, I will be doing Solimar and, CPU tournament, so yeah, I guess I'll see everyone in the next stream.